Hey friends, Eunice again. I just wanted to do a part 2 of the peace video I just did, a peaceful atmosphere in your home. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because I just wanted to talk about decluttering and just some tips that have helped me as a mom of 5 kids to declutter around our house. Now, if you know us, you know that our family has actually moved overseas. And so this was particularly important for me to learn because in that time I had to pare our life down to the 2 suitcases allotted to each person on the flight. So we took 14 suitcases over with us when we first moved overseas. And when we moved back from overseas, we actually only had 7 suitcases because the tickets we bought only allowed 1 suitcase per person. So I have had to learn a thing or two about decluttering. So I just wanted to share some helpful tips because I know that it can be overwhelming for some people to declutter. And so just to remind you, our family actually, before we lived in this home in America, overseas, our last apartment was 1,500 square feet and the apartment before that was 1,200 square feet. And so as you can imagine, living with 7 people in such a small space can be overwhelming if you have too much stuff. And so to me, I think something the Lord taught me over the years is just to be content with where He has placed us. And that isn't a lesson that I did perfectly all the time at all, but it is something that I feel like the Lord over the years has refined me in, is wherever I am, to be content. And so what that means is if when we were living in a 1,200 square foot apartment with 7 of us, I had to be content. And part of my contentment is dependent on me not feeling caved in and overwhelmed by the clutter in our life. And so I always have made it a point to periodically purge our stuff. Now, one area that I know can be overwhelming for some people is purging your closets, whether it's your kids' closets or your own closet. I just really recommend that if you're purging your clothing, that if you haven't worn it in about 1 year to a year and a half, to really consider giving it away. And if it has holes or something, just throw it away. The reason why I say this is because realistically, at least what I found in my life, if I haven't worn it in a year or a year and a half, it's not really gonna get worn. Now, there are some things that I have held on to over the years and through our many moves. And so I actually intentionally wore this outfit. So just to show you, so I have this black dress. I've owned this dress for about 15 years. And there are seasons where I haven't been able to fit into it, but I held on to it because I love it. I love the style and it's really simple. So 15 years is a pretty long time, but I have gotten to wear it at weddings, to different church events, and I think that it is worth keeping. Now, there's a lot of other clothing when I look at it. I'm like, I haven't worn this in a while. Should I get rid of it? Should I hold on to it? This comes to my second thought, which is, what if your stuff could be a blessing to someone else? Now, realistically, we have had a tight budget in a lot of the years that we've lived as a married couple. My husband is a full-time minister, and we have 5 kids, and so we've had to be really budgeted and intentional, especially in the area of clothing. And so something I love is yard sales. And so I just want to tell you, there are times when I have gone to yard sales where I feel like because that person sold it to me, I feel like I have been so blessed. And so that's something I want you to consider is when you're looking at a piece of clothing, is it sitting in your closet for years after year after year, really being a good steward of that clothing? Really, it could be a blessing to someone else. And so that's something else I just feel like the Lord has taught me over the years is like, Eunice, you're holding on to this thing, but what if someone else could get it and be blessed? So I just wanted to show you another thing I intentionally wore for this one is this cardigan. I bought this for $1 at a yard sale. Now this person, because she let it go and was decluttering her home, it became a blessing to me. And I think that's the same with a lot of our stuff. Do you have books at home that you could declutter? Do you have extra kitchenware that you don't use that you could give away and bless someone else? Now, for me, something else that helps me declutter is once I've decided to give it away, I bag it up and then I put it in my minivan so that I know next time I drive by the thrift store or something, I am dropping it off without hesitation. Like, it's not just sitting in our garage for endless months. Like, it is going to go somewhere when it's in my minivan versus when it's just sitting in our garage. And so that's just another practical tip I wanted to share with you. I've helped different friends declutter throughout the years because it's just something that I enjoy for some strange reason. But I really just want to encourage you with those thoughts right now as we're home more. I think that the areas of clutter, at least for myself personally, do overwhelm me. And the reality of it is, even though some people look at me and think like, oh, Eunice, she must be a really organized person, I actually am not an organized person. That's why I declutter periodically, because I realize like, okay, this paper has been sitting on our desk for 3 months and I have no place in our house to put it because I don't know how to organize it. Do I actually need this piece of paper, or should I just get rid of it? Or you could say that with, I was helping a friend declutter once, and she had 5 different spatulas in her little spatula crock. And I was like, okay, realistically, at any given time, how many spatulas are you going to need? And she and I figured out she'd probably need 3 spatulas. So we very intentionally gave away 2 to the Goodwill because in reality, like, you do need multiple kitchen tools, but if you're not gonna be using them all realistically, what is the point of keeping it? There could be someone out there who's wanting to buy a spatula and you are blessing them by getting rid of the 2 extra that you don't need. What was funny about after helping that friend declutter was she was saying how just the week prior to me helping her, she was thinking, oh, I'm gonna need another utensil crock because all of my utensils are spilling out of this one. And so for her, she didn't think, oh, I should get rid of the 2 I'm not using. She actually thought, oh, let me buy more stuff to organize. But what I helped her see was that, no, maybe, since you're not using 2, why don't we get rid of it and bless someone else? And so that's kind of a glimpse into how my mind works. Now, that same friend, when I was helping her declutter, asked me, Eunice, though, are there times that you regret that you threw something away or gave something away? And I can honestly say in about the almost 20 years, we've been married 19 years, the 19 years that we've been married, I can't even think of 3 different times that I've regretted getting rid of something that I haven't used in over a year. Like, honestly, we've moved a bunch of times. We had to get rid of stuff. But when it comes down to, oh, do I regret I got rid of that? Not really. Because also, if I really did regret it, like, I would go to a yard sale maybe. Like, let's say I got rid of this ladle or something. I would go to a yard sale and find a ladle for 50 cents and then I'd buy that. And so that's something that really helped me also see, like, to not get too attached to things, because in reality, I could just go to the thrift store again and buy this pan if I'm really missing it. But am I going to miss it if I haven't used it in 2 years? Like, it makes you really think about what is valuable and what's not, or what is even useful and what is not. And another area that we definitely do this for is my kids' clothing too. Is something that helps our laundry system is that my kids actually don't have a ton of clothing. But the reason why that's helpful is because I keep up with the laundry with the kids. Now, I don't do it all by myself. They help me with it. And also, it helps their shelves and their dresser drawers not to get overly cluttered. Because in reality, the kids like to wear the same things often. It's those unworn things that stay at the bottom of their drawers. And those are the things that I think are not necessary and help us to keep our house more orderly. And so if you have any questions, please comment below or message me and ask me, and I would love to try to help you, because I think that this is a time that really, I love creating a peaceful atmosphere in our home. I love that my family and I, all of us are homebodies, and we honestly love being at home. And so I think in order to love being at home, we really need to create those spaces in our home that make it just peaceful to be in. So I hope these ideas bless you today, and that really I just bless you with peace in your home, that you can have a peaceful environment no matter the size of your home. So have an awesome day. Thanks for listening.